All right, fellas, welcome to Pocono.
Welcome, 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 race fans. We are here, Pocono, with the Downforce Racing Series, week number 14. I'm your host, Front Row Joe, and as we wait for the guys to get gridded up, we will just talk a little bit about the Downforce Racing Series. Downforce Racing Series, they run a Gen 6 league Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. They also run a O'Reilly Series Thursday nights at 9 p.m. These guys have been running for quite a long time. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about 9 years and counting. So these guys know what they're doing. We take a little recap at the race from last week at Kansas. Your winner was Devin Sanchez. Devin Sanchez, unfortunately, not going to be joining us here tonight. However, he was your winner. As we continue to wait for these guys to get gridded up, we'll talk a little bit about the track. Track is unique. Traditional oval is 4 turns. Pocono here, we have 3. It's more of a triangle shape, which makes it a little bit difficult to get going. There's 3 different turns. Each one of them has a different angle, a different banking, and it makes it quite difficult for the drivers to navigate. This track doesn't have that much banking like traditional ovals, and it can cause for a lot of wrecks. We will probably only worry about that for the first few laps as the field starts to spread out, everybody giving each other room, single file, getting a toe behind the car in front of you and try and stay in the race. And the field is gridded up. Pace truck going to be leading them out as we take a look at your starting grid. On the pole, it's going to be Jordan Ippolito. On his outside is going to be Caden Henry Oaks. Now, number 2, inside lane, Hanover Fist. Outside lane, John Zerke. Row number 3, on the inside is going to be Bob Lacavara. On the outside is going to be Thomas Taylor. Row number 4, on the inside is going to be Philip Sanchez. On the outside is going to be John Anderson. And our shotgun driver of the night is Mike Whitaker in that number 707 car. As we take a look at our qualifying results, Jordan Ippolito winning the pole with a 52.775. Caden Henry Oaks with a 52.849. Hanover Fist with a 52.918. Zerke with a 52.919. Lacavara with a 53.033. Thomas Taylor with a 53.121. Philip Sanchez with a 53.145. John Anderson with a 53.271. And Mike Whitaker opting out of qualifying tonight. Might not be a bad decision. Mike Whitaker is known for working his way up through the field, as the pace truck will lead them around turn number 3 down the front straightaway as we get ready to go green.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. We are racing here at Pocono for the Downforce Racing Series as we see Jordan Ippolito and Caden Henry Oaks leading the field down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Side by side, Ippolito getting the advantage, sliding up in front of Caden Henry Oaks. Caden Henry Oaks snapping loose a little bit right there, getting tight. Gonna make a move down to the inside. Nope, he's gonna go back up top in front of Zerke. Going down into the tunnel turn. These guys wasting no time going single file. They know how much of a difficult time racing around the track side by side with one another is. As we see Jordan Ippolito getting into the wall a little bit there, coming out of turn 3. Caden Henry Oaks and John Zerke side by side going down the front straightaway. Everybody else single file, all within arm's reach of each other. Into turn number 1 they go. That number 57 car of Thomas Taylor fighting for that number 3 spot. Zerke and Caden Henry Oaks side by side going into the tunnel turn. Zerke forcing Caden Henry Oaks wide. Zerke getting a little bit loose, coming off. He's able to hold on to it. So we take a look right here with Hanover Fist. Going down on the inside here. We'll go live on board with Hanover Fist as the field comes down the front straightaway. Hanover Fist just to the inside and behind Thomas Taylor. Bob Lacavera going to go ahead and make the takeover. Nice and slow and smooth through turn number 1. Let's go on board with Bob Lacavera as he gets a toe off of that number 57 car of Thomas Taylor. Sliding them tires, Taylor into the wall. Lacavera running that outside line. Staying out of those marbles, getting a nice run off the corner. The number 56 car, John Anderson, right behind Lacavera. It's a small field, ladies and gentlemen, but that is not going to stop us from having a good race. Yes, the overlays are on, thankfully. Thankfully. I feel like an idiot for not realizing they weren't working last week, but we've got it worked out tonight. So we take a look at the field, still single file as they go down into turn number 3. Still going to be Jordan Ippolito out in front. Caden Henry Oaks 0.6 of a second behind him. As we see John Anderson on the outside, Mike Whitaker and Hanover Fist going down on the inside of him. He's able to maintain a run on the high side. Whitaker going to file in right behind him. Tires slipping and sliding as they come out of the exits, trying to keep the car underneath them. It is very easy to lose control of the car here at Pocono. These guys doing a great job. Mike Whitaker up 3 spots from where he started into that number 7 spot. As we take a look at the fastest lap so far, it's going to be Mike Whitaker with a 52.82. Only separated by 0.06 of a second by Caden Henry Oaks, the second fastest lap of the race. As we look at the gearbox of Jordan Ippolito, trying to maintain control of that car. Caden Henry Oaks getting a nice toe off of him off the back, front straightaway. Coming down into turn number 1. Caden Henry Oaks opting for the inside, gaining some ground, but he loses some exit speed as Ippolito maintains the middle line through the corner. Starting to spread out a lot in the back of the pack as we see 2 drivers, Philip Sanchez and Thomas Taylor, falling back to about 4 seconds behind your race leader of Ippolito. Jordan Ippolito sporting that Jimmy Johnson throwback, that Lowe's sponsored Chevrolet Camaro. Behind him, Caden Henry Oaks and his Breaking Benjamin Toyota Camry. John Zerke still sporting that Minnesota Wild paint scheme that was so gracefully put together by Ron Deal. Bob Lacavera in his Convergent Component Chevrolet. John Anderson sporting that oh-so-wonderful Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. Mike Whitaker again in his Rolling Rock Camouflage Scheme Chevrolet. Hanover Fist in his TDA Hanover Fist Racing Chevrolet. Philip Sanchez in his DS Racing Toyota Camry sporting that monster paint scheme. And Thomas Taylor sporting the Mark Martin Viagra Ford Mustang. All these drivers having some wonderful paint schemes out here on the track today. So we look up in the front here, Caden Henry Oaks gaining some ground on Ippolito. Zerke still within striking distance. Caden Henry Oaks into the wall just a little bit. That's going to allow Zerke to get some ground on him. Caden Henry Oaks doing a good job of still maintaining his speed even though he got into the wall. Henry Oaks on the inside, snapping loose a little bit. Ippolito trying to keep him out of his draft. Zerke pushing Henry Oaks. Oh, and he gets in Henry Oaks. Henry Oaks down under the apron. He's able to save it. Just a little bit too much of a push going into the corner, allowing Ippolito to pull out in front more as we see Caden Henry Oaks falling back a little bit, catching his bearings. We're just going to put John Zerke up into that number 2 spot. Do not count anyone out of this race. The top 6 drivers are all within striking distance of each other, and they're gaining on the leader slowly but surely. Hopefully not too much damage to Caden Henry Oaks' tires after that racing incident with John Zerke. As Zerke tries to pull a slider on Ippolito. Not quite enough juice to get past him, but he's got right up on his bumper. We're on lap number 12 of 30. As we go ahead and take a look at our race information, brought to you by Big Time TV. We're here for 80 laps. We'll have one stage at lap 30. 5 additional tire sets, 2 green white checkers, 100% fuel, and 3 fast repairs. 65-degree afternoon here at Pocono in Pennsylvania, 51% humidity, partly cloudy, and 2-mile-an-hour winds. As we see Caden Henry Oaks back up to the front next to Jordan Ippolito, getting a little side draft, trying to slow him down so he can make a pass here in turn number 1. Gets his nose out in front. Henry Oaks opting for the inside while Ippolito going on the high side. Henry Oaks completing that pass on Zerke. As Zerke gets a run on the inside of Caden Henry Oaks. Gonna run the inside through the tunnel turn. As we go on board here with Caden Henry Oaks. Running that high line, late apex. Getting a run off the corner. Slide job completed by Ippolito. But Caden Henry Oaks with that run, taking the outside. Little side draft, pulling away from him. as they will soon enough catch the lap car of Thomas Taylor. And these two battling back and forth. Ippolito moving down for a little air block, trying to slow Henry Oaks down. Ippolito not quite taking that corner as well as he would like to. John Zerke getting up on the inside of Ippolito. Catching that toe off of Caden Henry Oaks. Down the front straightaway as they come into turn number 1. Zerke taking that high line. Mike Whitaker and John Anderson having a little battle right here for 4th place. So we go on board with Mike Whitaker trying to run down John Anderson. Whitaker currently in 5th, started 9th. He's going to get to the inside and make the pass on John Anderson. Sliding up in front of him out of turn 1. Yeah, it's definitely a good battle between all these drivers here. As we go back up to the front, as Zerke is able to complete the pass on Ippolito. It's going to be Caden Henry Oaks, John Zerke, Jordan Ippolito, your top 3 drivers at this moment of the race. 14 to go in stage 1. Caden Henry Oaks maintaining that outside line out of turn 1. Zerke trying to find what it takes to get past Caden Henry Oaks as we see Jordan Ippolito having a monster run out of the tunnel turn, back up into 2nd. These 3 are having a battle. It looks like it's going to be like this the whole entire race between these 3. Third and 4th place separated by about 0.7 of a second. That will, however, change after the stage caution as Ippolito trying to go to the inside of Caden Henry Oaks. Gonna get there. Is he gonna be able to maintain it? Sliding up in front of Caden Henry Oaks is Ippolito. These front 3 just going back and forth. Henry Oaks going to have the advantage going into turn 1. Going ahead and almost getting clear. Ippolito having a little bit more of a run. Zerke 3 wide. Down the straightaway. Caden Henry Oaks backing out of it. He wants no part of a 3-wide battle in the tunnel turn. I don't blame him one bit. Zerke, little door banging action right there coming out of turn 3 as they're 3 wide down the front straightaway. Zerke, Ippolito, Caden Henry Oaks. Who's going to back out for turn number 1? It's Henry Oaks. What a battle we have. Crossover by Zerke. Coming down the back straightaway. He's going to get to the inside of Ippolito through the tunnel turn. Are we going to have a lead change? Yes, we are. Ippolito not going down without a fight into turn 3. These 3 are only separated by 0.07 of a second. We're going to go back to the battle right here for 6th between Philip Sanchez and Hanover Fist, aka Terry Adams, one of our league admins. Hanover Fist currently 7th after starting 3rd. As Sanchez able to pull away. As we can still see that battle up front. Whitaker. Oh, we have a caution.
Yes, they'll take a Captain Morgan.
John Zerke. Oh my goodness. And Sanchez getting involved after the fact. Let's go back and take a look what happened. Zerke just getting into Henry Oaks, and Ippolito just gets into him. Whitaker, Anderson, top 4 drivers getting involved in that. And then Philip Sanchez getting involved as we see John Anderson just coming back down the track. He goes to avoid Zerke and just nowhere to go. Good thing these drivers are going to have fast repairs. As we see Caden Henry Oaks slowing down for the pace truck. First caution of the race. These three or four drivers, well, realistically 5 drivers, battling really hard. Ippolito, Zerke, and Caden Henry Oaks battling back and forth. So being that we have some ridiculously long pace laps, we are going to have a quick word from our sponsor, AI Chief.
He knows what he's doing. Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
Visit aichiefracing.com/bigtime to support the stream. As Hanover Fist winning the race off of pit road. We'll go ahead and take a look at our pit stop statistics. Everyone taking 4 tires and fuel as we are near the end of stage 1. 24 of 30 in stage 1. Our biggest gainers of the night, Mike Whitaker up 3 spots, Hanover Fist up 2 spots, and Thomas Taylor up 1 spot. So we take a look at our lap leaders. Jordan Ippolito leading 15 of the 24 laps. Kate Henry Oaks leading 5. John Zerke leading 3, and Hanover Fist leading 1. As Hanover Fist will be in control when we go green at the stripe. Ippolito scrubbing his tires, cleaning them off, getting them ready. Out of turn number 3. Pace truck is off. Hanover Fist going to be in control. And we are green here. Ippolito getting a monster jump off the restart. Taking that race lead, getting pushed monstrously by Zerke as Zerke goes down to the inside in front of Hanover Fist. Caden Henry Oaks around Hanover as well. Five laps to go in the stage. It's going to be Ippolito, followed by Zerke and Caden Henry Oaks again. As I just lost my TikTok feed, unfortunately. Some issues with OBS there. I think I'm going to have to upgrade my internet. And we're connected to all the chats successfully again. Three to go in the stage. Ippolito and Zerke have started to pull away from Caden Henry Oaks. Not quite sure Henry Oaks is going to be pushing too hard as we are almost at the conclusion of stage one. It's going to be chopsticks. 2 to go. Ippolito really trying to keep Zerke out of his draft as they go down into the tunnel turn. I think everybody is just going to be content where they finish in the stage. Don't want to do anything crazy. Don't want to have to burn another fast repair. As we see Ippolito zigzagging back and forth, throwing that dirty air on Zerke, keeping him out of his draft. Zerke might want to make a move here. Nope, not quite the run he wanted. Out of turn 3, it's going to be Ippolito, Zerke, and Caden Henry Oaks.
There will be a caution.
And the caution flag comes out, bringing stage 1 to a conclusion. Is anybody in the chat? Can you just double check and make sure my mic is working? Yeah, it's working. I double checked. Not quite sure what's going on with the stream. I'm seeing some lagginess in it. OBS is telling me I've got a low bit rate. But I've got good enough internet. I shouldn't be having any issues. Nobody coming down pit road yet. No surprise. We'll see if these guys opt to come down pit road and get some fuel, maybe some tires. As Mike Whitaker opting to stay out. Either going to bank on a long green flag run in short pit or potentially another caution. As we see that number 57 car, Thomas Taylor, winning the race off pit road. Yeah, I have to do one of two things. I either got to get the settings right in OBS or I need to get some new internet. Getting some horrible speeds from what I usually get. I usually get a gigabyte, but now, geez, I'm only getting 278. And, oh, that's rough. That is really rough. These pace laps here at Pocono are obnoxiously long. Lights on the pace car are off. We're going green at the stripe. Mike Whitaker, Thomas Taylor, Bob Lacavera, Jordan Ippolito, and Philip Sanchez. Your top five coming to the stripe. Pace car's off.
Green.
And we are green again here at Pocono. Mike Whitaker getting a nice jump off the start. Ippolito giving Taylor a nice push there. As we're three wide, contact. Philip Sanchez gets into Lacavera. Ippolito getting a nice run off the exit of turn two. Gonna go ahead and make the pass on Mike Whitaker. You see who's right there on his tail? John Zerke, Caden Henry Oaks. Using that toe off of Whitaker to get sucked back up to Ippolito. Gonna be 45 laps to go. Whitaker going to try and hold on as long as he can to that second place position as Henry Oaks makes a 3-wide pass in turn 3. Almost a 2-for-1 special. Everybody searching for grip in turn number 1 as we see the entire field go staggered. Ippolito able to run the preferred line that he likes to take out there in clean air as we see Caden Henry Oaks completing the pass on Mike Whitaker. As we go on board here with Caden Henry Oaks, working that inside. As we see those RPMs bogged down, Caden Henry Oaks getting a nice exit off of 3. Trying to keep that car balanced. It's going to be a 3-way battle with these 3 the rest of the race. It's really hard to predict who is going to win. As the first stage, they were going back and forth between the 3 of them. But only Caden Henry Oaks and Jordan Ippolito able to lead the lap. Well, I stand corrected. Zerke did lead 3 laps. .40 to go at the stripe. We are officially halfway through this race. Henry Oaks and Zerke really up on that bumper of Ippolito. Out of turn number 1. Caden Henry Oaks getting just a little loose as he gets a push off the turn by Zerke. Zerke wanting to be a little bit cautious, as we saw in the early laps of the race. Zerke getting up just a little bit too close for comfort on Caden Henry Oaks and got him sideways. I'm sure Caden Henry Oaks has that in the back of his head. We'll go back and take a look at some of the action right behind them between Mike Whitaker, Bob Lacavera, and Hanover Fist. Lacavera running that high line. Trying to keep some momentum out of the corner. Hanover on the inside of Lacavera. Going to go ahead and complete the pass. Is he going to be able to? Yep, sliding right up there in front of Bob. And we've got a new race leader. Let's go back and look and see how that came to fruition. Henry Oaks getting in front of Ippolito. Ippolito just getting a little bit sloppy out of the corner. Just allowing Caden Henry Oaks to get his nose out in front and clear him. But we know it's not over. It ain't over until the fat lady sings, that's for sure. As we start to get into the later stages of the race, as we see Thomas Taylor going down pit road, we're going to see these three get a little bit more aggressive. We'll see some more blocking by the leader, and we'll see some aggressive driving by the guys behind him as Ippolito goes ahead and gets back in front of Caden Henry Oaks. Zerke now up to second. Out of turn number 3, you can really hear those tires screaming for help. As all the weight gets shifted to those right side tires. Sanchez now able to get in front of Lacavera and Hanover Fist. Let's go back and take a look and see how he got it done. In turn number 3, Sanchez taking the inside. Hanover just a little bit slower on the outside, and Sanchez able to complete the slider. Whitaker not done yet. There's still enough time left for him to get a top 5 finish. Sanchez still able to maintain that that lead in front of Hanover Fist. As we see these three up front. Zerke, look at Zerke! Making the pass, but Ippolito with the crossover, getting back in front, out of the corner. Henry Oaks to the inside of Zerke, into the tunnel turn. Zerke getting a little bit of a better exit there. As they're side by side, Goodyear to Goodyear, out of turn 3. Henry Oaks still with the advantage over Zerke. As we look at our pit stop information, 15 laps since pretty much the top 3, almost the whole field, since they've pit, with the exception of Mike Whitaker and Thomas Taylor. Thomas Taylor short pitting right there, and Whitaker going to try and stretch it as long as he can. As we look at our fastest 5 on that last lap, Thomas Taylor on those fresher tires. Kate Henry Oaks putting down a 54.43. Zerke with a 54.54. And Ippolito with a 54.60. John Anderson with a 54.66. And our best battles right now, this is going to be one of the best battles at the moment. Zerke, Henry Oaks, and Ippolito. We have Hanover Fist and Mike Whitaker battling it out, and Whitaker and Anderson. Also, we'll go back and take a look at some of this action right here in the rear. Philip Sanchez still with the advantage over Anderson, Hanover, and Whitaker. We potentially have a new race leader as Zerke getting to the inside of Ippolito down into turn 1. Ippolito gonna have more exit speed. Getting back around Zerke. Henry Oaks with a run on Zerke. Zerke able to make the pass on the outside. And we have a caution. Philip Sanchez wrapped up.
Take a Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
That's going to throw a wrench into the mix. Let's go back and look and see what happened with Philip Sanchez. Oh, he just... Wow, that was a monster overshoot. I wonder if he had some technical difficulties. Maybe he took his eye off the screen for a minute, getting ready to line up his pit stop. But, man, that's unfortunate. He's going to have to limp it back to the pits. As we are under our third caution of the night. And with that being said, we are going to have another word from our sponsor, AI Chief.
You ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
And we are back. Make sure you visit AIChiefRacing.com/big time to support the stream. And yeah, Ron, it's a little weird that the yellow flag came out right there, but Sanchez was ahead of Whitaker and Hanover, so I could see why the yellow came out as there was a hazard on the track. But we'll reset. Lap 53 of 80. Current leader Jordan Ippolito, 3 cautions for 8 laps and 7 green flag lead changes. So we look at our pit stop statistics. Everyone coming down for 4 tires and fuel. Should not see any more pit stops unless we get a caution. As we look at our lineup for the upcoming restart, it's going to be Ippolito, Kate Henry Oaks, John Anderson, John Zerke, Mike Whitaker, Bob Lacavera, Hanover Fist, Thomas Taylor, and Philip Sanchez. So we take a look at our lap leaders. Jordan Ippolito leading the most laps with 37. Kate Henry Oaks leading 7 laps. John Zerke leading 5. Mike Whitaker leading 3, and Hanover Fist leading 2 laps. Hanover Fist going to be excited just to finish the race, as he was wrecked out in his Icon League Sunday night. He'll hopefully be able to get a good finish and put some championship points on the board. Yeah, definitely would have been exciting with some green flag stops, Ron. Definitely don't think 44 wanted that yellow. I really don't think anybody wanted that yellow for that matter. But with some fresher tires, it's going to be interesting now that we've got some fresher tires. It's going to give these guys a little bit more wiggle room to push. And we should see, hopefully, an exciting and dramatic finish. As we come out of turn 3, pace truck is off. And we're green
flag.
with Ippolito. Monster jump. Followed very closely by Kate and Henry Oaks. John Anderson working that high line on Zerke, trying to get around him. Through the tunnel turn they go. Anderson getting a little squirrely. Ippolito with just about a half a second advantage on Kate and Henry Oaks. But with Kate and Henry Oaks and Zerke catching a toe off of each other, they will be back up there in no time. As we see Lacavera holding on to that 5th place. Right behind John Anderson, just in front of Mike Whitaker. Whitaker hitting a little bit there, but he's going to go on the inside. Lacavera running the outside. Lacavera still able to stay in front of Whitaker as we see him getting a run on John Anderson. Going down to the inside in the tunnel turn. Nice pass by Bob Lacavera in that number 5 Convergent Composite Chevrolet. Laps to go here at Pocono in the Downforce Racing Series. This is going to be the second to last race in the series for this season, their spring season. Next race is going to be the championship race at Phoenix, as that'll be another exciting race for us to call here. As we see Hanover Fist second to the back of the pack right now, just behind Philip Sanchez, just ahead of Thomas Taylor. As we'll go ahead and we'll shine some light on Thomas Taylor here. Thomas Taylor starting 6th. As you see him working that wheel, trying to get around the corner. .183 miles an hour before entering that tunnel turn. Feathering the throttle throughout the tunnel turn. Right now, it's all Jordan Ippolito. Caden Henry Oaks and John Zerke still within striking distance. Not quite sure either driver is ready to push. They're just going to manage their tires, stay close enough to Jordan Ippolito, and make a late race pass. As we see Henry Oaks really catching a good toe off of Ippolito. Henry Oaks really wrapping that bottom, maintaining tons of speed. Lacavera now up to fourth in front of John Anderson. Can't really count any one of these drivers out for a podium finish today. As we are inside of 20 laps to go. Anderson with a dive bomb on Lacavera in turn number 1. We're on board with Lacavera, currently fourth. As he is just a little bit over a half a second behind Zerke. Really gripping that outside. If he and John Anderson can work together, they just might be able to put their names in the hat for their shot at getting a podium finish. Lacavera taps the wall. That's going to allow Anderson and Whitaker to get by. And up in the front, Caden Henry Oaks passes Ippolito for the lead. As we go back and look and see how he did it on the outside in turn 1. But Ippolito getting the lead back. These two teammates, Queen City Motorsports. Let's go look at this battle here, the 35 and the 707. Battle right here for fourth. Anderson, Sanchez, Whitaker. As we do the eyeball test and see just how far John Anderson is from that third place driver, John Zerke. Just about a quarter of a straightaway. Sanchez and Whitaker all lined up single file behind Anderson, trying to get a really good draft in these straightaways. But just as important as the straightaways are, your corners are extremely important as well. You can get huge runs off these straightaways in the draft, but the momentum can be absolutely destroyed with a bad exit. And I'm not sure Anderson wants these guys falling too far behind him, as that's going to kill his momentum and kill his speed on the straightaways. As we go back to the battle for the lead here, Ippolito, Zerke, Caden Henry Oaks. 14 laps to go here at Pocono. Zerke carrying all that speed on entry. Caden Henry Oaks really working the wall. As we see just how much separation is between Henry Oaks and John Zerke. Not much at all through the straightaways. Caden Henry Oaks really getting that nose pointed off the corner. Makes a move to the inside. Gonna go ahead and complete the pass. Slide job. Ippolito giving him a little shove. All three of the drivers having a good exit of the tunnel turn. Caden Henry Oaks making that high line work. Almost a side-by-side battle here. Down the second straightaway right before the tunnel turn. Ippolito to the inside of Henry Oaks. Henry Oaks going to try the crossover. He gets there, but not quite. It's going to come down to a last lap pass out of 3. 10 laps to go. Caden Henry Oaks, Jordan Ippolito, John Zerke, your top 3 battling it out for the lead. Zerke able to get around Ippolito. We'll take a quick look at this battle right here for fourth. Sanchez, Whitaker, and Anderson. But after we catch some in this battle, we are going to stay locked in on the race for the lead. Henry Oaks maintaining that advantage. These top three drivers are... Ooh! Ippolito to the inside of Zerke. These top three drivers are your top three in championship points, with Kate and Henry Oaks leading the way. Henry Oaks with 6 wins on the season. Ippolito with 2. Zerke looking to get his first. Ippolito is 67 points behind Caden Henry Oaks. If he can pull off a win today, he can be that much closer to the championship. We go on board with Ippolito as we see him getting to the inside of Kane Henry Oaks. They almost got into each other right there. Zerke just got into Ippolito. These three have really separated themselves from the field. 6 seconds ahead of the next closest driver. Five laps to go. Kane Henry Oaks out in front. Ippolito up there, giving a little love tap to the fence. As we see Ippolito slowly creeping up to Henry Oaks right before turn one. Hanson, who's going to go inside. Maybe he's going to stay high. He does. It's coming down to the wire here. You see Henry Oaks trying to shake that air and keep Ippolito as far back as he can. Caden Henry Oaks looks like he might get it done and get his lucky number 7th win of the season. Don't count Ippolito out yet. Popsicle sticks, 2 to go. Is Ippolito setting Caden Henry Oaks up for a last lap pass? Zerke sending it in there on entry, trying to put some air on the bumper of Jordan Ippolito. White flag is out. Caden Henry Oaks out in front by 0.3 of a second. Zerke getting on the inside of Ippolito. Side by side down the straightaway. Zerke gonna get in front of Ippolito. These two are gonna battle it out while Caden Henry Oaks has a clear shot to victory. Ippolito, it's gonna be a drag race for second. Ippolito's gonna take the win. Zerke comes away with a second place finish. Jordan Ippolito in third. 0.03 of a second separating Zerke and Ippolito. As we take a look at our podium finishers, Caden Henry Oaks getting his 7th win of the season, John Zerke in second, and Jordan Ippolito in third. What a race. right. While we watch Caden Henry Oaks finish his burnout, we are going to go ahead and pull him in for an interview. Caden Henry Oaks is front row Joe in the booth. How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you've gotten your 7th win of the season. Lucky number 7. In dramatic fashion, might I add. What was it that got it done for you tonight?
Just keeping cool in traffic. It's pretty hard to navigate with the dirty air. Being on the have an 8-inch spoiler or whatever it was is massive. Wasn't really a fan of it, but just try and drive in clean air, as clean air as I could get all night.
Yeah, it was a battle the whole race. It wasn't easy for anyone. You Jordan and John just going back and forth the whole entire race. You'd make a pass on Ippolito, he'd get it back on you in the next corner, and made for some exciting content. How was it kind of going back and forth? You know, what was kind of the strategy to kind of get in front of Jordan each time you made the pass?
Efficiency, not trying to not lose time when making passes. That was the main thing on my part. Didn't really think about it the first stage, but when we were going green the second stage, I was hoping that we could grab a lead and basically have just the 3 of us out there, and it come down to strategy, because just wanted to be as efficient with the passes and not cost time.
Yeah, absolutely. As coming to the white flag, you guys had a 6-second lead on the next closest driver to you, so it really was just you 3 pretty much the entire race, but absolutely the last 5 laps. And we're at Phoenix next week for the championship race. You're going to be you're currently the points leader. And what are your feelings going into the championship race with the championship on the line?
Just go there and have the cleanest race that I can have, and just keep the car clean, and we'll get a good result.
Well, you've heard it here. Your race winner, Caden Henry Oaks. Caden, who do you want to thank tonight, and who helped you get it done?
Just, normal shout outs to everybody. You for putting on a broadcast. Terry, Mike, and Bob putting on the league. Had fun racing tonight. It was close quarters. It was fun. Despite not being a fan of the package, I still enjoyed, running around these guys. It was fun, as we were running clean, hard, respectful. I mean, we had one moment, but yeah, that's that. It was just everybody for the whole show.
All right, and if you could be so kind to see if Jordan would like an interview. If not, it's not a problem, but just have him come into the waiting room. All right, Jordan, have a good night. Congratulations.
Yep.
And we are going to go ahead and pull in your second place finisher of the night, John Zerke. Congratulations, buddy. How's it feel?
Another silver. Got another one. No, that was a pretty fun race, actually. I enjoyed racing with Jordan and Caden there. We were throwing haymakers for a while there at the beginning. It got kind of rough a little bit at times, but I think everyone was still just kind of having fun with it. But yeah, there at the end, I was kind of hoping I could make a run, or at least get help Jordan get up alongside Caden, and if they started racing for the lead, then anything's possible. But I think we were all just slipping around a little bit too much there at the end. But at least I was able to get second.
Yeah, we had some you had some fans in the chat rooting you on. Mr. Rondio was was giving you some shout outs. And he was a little bummed out when that yellow came out. Not sure really anybody wanted it in that situation, but give everybody a chance to come and get some fresher tires. And looks like that's what helped you get the run and make that last lap pass on Jordan.
Yeah, I think Caden mentioned that he thought that Jordan had kind of burned up his right front, which kind of makes sense. He was looked like he was pushing a little bit at the end. We were all kind of sliding around, but yeah, that I think we would have had about 23 laps in each, stint if we ran green that whole, last stage. And as it turned out, we were going to need to run like 28, 29 laps under green. So, that's an extra few laps on the tires that we didn't have to go. I think that was the longest run of the day, was that last run. So, but you got to go for it. So, yeah, Pocono's a fun track, but it's definitely it's tricky to get. Everybody was in the wall at some point, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Pocono here. That's got 3 turns, and you have to enter and exit all of them differently. So, makes for put your skills to the test, right? You think going from a intermediate to a short track and vice versa would kind of test your skills, but you only have 4 corners to worry about. Here you've essentially have 6, even though they're only numbered 1, 2, and 3. You essentially have 6 corners to enter and exit. So, but you had what you needed. Not necessarily what you wanted, but you're still 3rd in points right now. I think with your second place finish, you might be bumped up just ahead of Jordan as we go into the championship race next week at Phoenix. Championship is pretty much going to be on the line for everybody between you, Jordan, and Jordan and Caden. So we'll be looking forward to kind of see you guys battle it out next week. But before we let you go, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done tonight? John?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't pushing the button, so it's hard to talk. No, I just thank you and for broadcasting. Thanks DRS crew as always, and for everyone who was watching the broadcast.
Awesome. Well, John Zerke, your second place finisher tonight, and we will see you next week at Phoenix.
All right, go wild.
Yes, sir. All right, that's going to do it for the broadcast this evening. As we take a look at your race results, Caden Henry Oaks, your race winner. John Zerke finishing 2nd. Jordan Ippolito in 3rd. Mike Whitaker in 4th. John Anderson in 5th. Hanover 5th and 6th. Philip Sanchez in 7th. Bob Lacavera in 8th. Thomas Taylor rounding out the field in 9th place. Your hard charger of the night, Mike Whitaker, finishing 5 spots ahead of where he started. Your most laps led, going to be Jordan Ippolito. Obviously, he took the pole. And your fastest lap is going to be Mike Whitaker with a 52.83. You have 3 cautions for a total of 9 laps out of this 80-lap race. 10 different lead changes with 5 different leaders. So quite a battle for everyone. 5 different drivers getting their chance to lead a lap, getting some bonus points. Like I said, we are at Phoenix next week for the championship race. We'll be back next Tuesday, April 28th, for the championship race at Phoenix in the Downforce Racing Series. I'd like to give everybody a big thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us, watching this exciting race, and we will sign off with that, and we hope everybody has a good night. God bless. Stay safe.